Hey guys, it is Old Mangia back. I think this is my third video today, just constantly uploading. Um, I obviously don't normally cover. Well, I'm trying to actually. I'll put it as I'm trying to cover more non-Manchester United news on this channel. But it's just a time thing. But this was just big. In part because of the future of the Premier League of football and how it's going to change. Also, on a personal level, like I do live in Newcastle. Newcastle are my second team, so I do have an affinity with this news. But before we get into the big news, that is Newcastle officially been taken over by the Saudi-backed Consortium. If you're new to the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, X, and smash the notification button for latest Manchester United news and more. Obviously, because we're not covering United news in this video, we're covering Newcastle United. We're covering United, but it's Newcastle United, not Manchester United, but Newcastle United. And guys, this is the official Twitter page. It's been confirmed for a while now. There was murmurings yesterday, but it has literally been confirmed. According to Newcastle's Twitter, an investment group led by the Public Investment Fund and also comprising PCP, which is Capital Partners, and RB Sports and Media, has completed the acquisition of 100% of Newcastle United Limited and Newcastle United Football Club from St. James Holdings Limited, which is obviously Mike Ashley's it's Mike Ashley's bit of it. And bro, this is mad. Absolutely mad. I mean, there are tons of Newcastle, and I was thinking of going to do a live stream about it, but to be honest, there are tons of Newcastle channels out there that you're better off going in that will know a lot more about the situation, that persevered for a lot more and just a lot more personal, because they've obviously dealt with Ashley and the fact that there was so much heartbreak after it didn't go through, I think last year or 2 years ago. For it to go through now is huge. What does this mean? What does this mean? And I'm going to be on a few channels. I'm going to get, hopefully, one of the Newcastle United Fan TV guys on the weekend. We're going to have a good open discussion about what this means. But we're going to try and make it interactive and get you guys involved so we can have a conversation about what this actually means. But my goodness, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. And, these guys, this consortium is worth 300 billion. That is insane, given that the in quote poorer owner of Man City is only 32 billion. So, what does this mean? What does this mean for Newcastle going forward? Obviously, I think that in the short term, Newcastle compared to Manchester City, obviously, when they bought them, were established football club, were established fan base. They're not in any debt or anything like that. They've got a ready-made stadium, to be honest. So, to be honest, the initial investments into the infrastructure of Newcastle are not that much, aside from maybe making the academy facilities better, the women's team, etc. But in terms of the men's team, in terms of the fan base in the stadium, that is already there. So, a lot of money can be directed on actually acquiring players and being competitive. Obviously, the first thing I think is obviously getting a manager, come to manager in. They may allow Steve Bruce to continue to the end of the season. I suspect they probably will, or maybe I think they will, and then maybe consider changing afterwards, especially with the likes of Conte being around. I personally would go and get Conte and sell him this project, this ambitious project. And I think Conte would probably accept, given that his main issue for leaving Inter was a lack of financial backing to compete at the highest level. I think that you give that money to Conte and say, we're going to give you 100, 200 million and increments to compete. I think he'll take it. Then, and this is a bit of advice, I think that they need to get a sporting director, scout good scouts who actually really scout for good quality, not just signing big names, but actually quality players that can gel with this team and can play the type of football that Newcastle fans want, which presumably is entertaining football, not garbage defensive football. So I think there needs to be a slow down on just getting big names and then hoping they'll fit together. I don't think that's necessarily the right way to go about it. I think the right way is almost like a sheriff way, which is getting good, young and exciting talent with potential that could be worth 100 million and getting them in, and then potentially essentially running a club like Dortmund in a way, getting good young players in, which can potentially solve for profit, which can then further make your model more sustainable. And then, you can go and buy big name players to intersperse throughout the team. That's how I think they should go about it. But if they don't, You know, there are a lot of players this summer, you know, that are on the end of their contract, to potentially coming towards the end of the careers, that are easy buys for Newcastle that could come in, that could improve what they have. So a Philippe Coutinho, for example, and especially in the Liga where a lot of these clubs want to offload their players because they're on high contracts. Suddenly you've got an owner that can, you know, that can you know, pay high wages, pay high transfer fees, and suddenly you're getting a league and Serie A players suddenly being able to be like, right, okay, we need money, we can sell these players to Newcastle, offload them. So like I said, a Philippe Coutinho, for example, and Eden Hazard and Real Madrid, you know, Bale, you know, these are examples of players that like could potentially be offloaded. It could be easily picked. I mean, imagine a front three of Coutinho, Hazard, and Bale, and Newcastle next season. You know, but these are the things. These are the things. My only issue potential with this whole thing is that if we're not careful, you could get a similar situation. What happened when PSG bought Neymar for 200 million last summer, which was this sort of hyperinflation of player prices, which is kind of somewhat continued and is causing, I think, is causing issues for mid-tier to lower-tier clubs, where, you know, you're paying ridiculous fees and ridiculous wages for players, and it's going to make it difficult, I think, for players for other clubs to obviously to buy, you know, potentially maybe not necessarily to sell, but certainly to buy. I think it's going to be very, very difficult. It's going to make the transfer market a lot more competitive in the next 3 to 5 years, with another big name coming in that's going to be competing with City, you know, PSG and so on. But it depends, because the way City runs, City don't tend to, PSG, for example, go out and spend their transfers, although in recent years they've not. City, for example, now recently don't, you know, so we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. I definitely think in the initial phase, I think they would want to spend to at least get nearer. But maybe after a couple of years, 5, 6 years, they'll curb their spending and try and develop more of a financially sustainable model. We'll see. But if you're a Newcastle fan, congrats. You know, I'm sure it's happy. I mean, I'm sure everyone's getting absolutely wasted in Newcastle right now. Absolutely wasted, gone, splattered, not even going to be going to work tomorrow morning because there's just jubilations going now. Mike actually leaving the club. There's just the sheer enthusiasm was incredible, you know. So it's all on you guys, you know. So like Newcastle fans, I salute you guys. Enjoy this day, and yeah, if you happen to be a fan, subscribe to the channel. You know, hit me up on Twitter as well. Like I want to ask you guys, like, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this going forward? Is the future bright for Newcastle FC? Have a nice day, everyone. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow me on Twitter United X. Smash the notification button to get know when we're live. Consider even following me on Twitch and Instagram as well. I also have a second channel called Red Marvel, which is a lot of entertainment and non-football related news. So head over there and subscribe. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers.